Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Oh my gosh. Today we're going to find out, what do carriers think about Red Seal certification for truck drivers? Oh, more importantly, how is it going to actually work? This, my friends, is probably going to be one of the most entertaining sessions you've ever heard because, well, a lot of them can't agree on a lot of things, not just Red Seal. But the ones that were in this room, they believe in Red Seal. We're going to be talking to you, giving you kind of a little snippet of the episode from PTTAC, Professional Truck Training Alliance of Canada. They did their Toronto event out by the airport at IHSA, and they're talking Red Seal. The whole event was talking about Red Seal. They talked with insurance people, they talked with carriers, they talked with the general trucking population. So did I. Anyway, there was a lot of good information in there. Red Seal is hot right now. It's on the way. Get ready. But how it's going to be implemented is probably the biggest question that everybody in the room had. And some people are saying it's going to be a long way off, and others are saying we've already done that. It's time to change the program. Anyway, before we get to that, let me tell you about a company that already operates like their Red Seal, and that's Bison Transport. Bison is looking for owner-operators and drivers right now, and they're offering big bucks to do so. If you are a truck driver that is experienced and available to cross-border, then they're offering a $750 sign-on bonus until the end of March. If you're an owner-operator, which they're really looking for right now, if you're a single owner-operator, they're offering $1,500 owner-operator incentive till the end of March. And if you are a team owner-operators, they're $3,000 sign-on bonus. So there's some really good information there. Now, we all know that a sign-on bonus is good because it gets you to look at the company. But what's it really like when you get on there? Well, I can tell you. Not only do you get paid on time, not only will you have miles that'll keep your business and yourself going if you're a company driver, but for an owner-operator, some of the best things are things like discount on parts, discount on service, discount on fuel. Hey, fuel prices are going up. I don't need to tell you that. Just watch the news. Anyway, bisondriving.com. That's where you need to go to check out all the opportunities available at the moment, because that's what's going to happen. All right. Come back, I can tell you all about Red Seal. Let's go.
Be sure to share the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
All right, so PTTAC had their event in Toronto. You guys have been hearing about it. The first event, if you listen to the podcast in order, our two episodes ago, we gave you the kind of the overview, the recap of the event. Some of the people I talked to. If you listen to the last episode, we were talking to the insurance people, seeing what they had to say, showed you a snippet from that panel. And then today we're going to talk about the carriers. And I think the most important part of this, people would argue whether it's the insurance or the carriers. It's important for the insurance because without the insurance, you can't do the second part. But how the carriers react to this is going to be the secret between whether it's successful or not. And it's going to take the whole industry, not just the carriers, but it's going to take the whole industry. But the carriers are going to have to, some are going to have to make some hard choices. Some of them are already made those choices, and it's not a problem. They're just going to only bring on. I think it's going to be better from a competitive standpoint, from a truck driver standpoint, because that's where I come from all the time. From the truck driver standpoint, if you are doing things right, you're finally going to be recognized for it, because a carrier is going to put on, we're only hiring Red Seal people. And I don't think that it's going to be like you've got nothing or you've got Red Seal. I think it's going to be a number of steps, which we've been talking about in the industry. So maybe, I don't know what the colors are going to be. You use whatever colors you want. Let's just go with red, green, and yellow, because we all understand stop signs. So if you are, green level, let's say that's your bottom level. You've just come out of training school, you've got your license, and you're working with a carrier. You might be green level. And that means I haven't seen the program, so I'm just kind of throwing things out there. I'm not saying this is how it's going to work or anything. But maybe it's green seal. Maybe you're a green seal, right? And so that means that you're working, and maybe that allows you to drive interprovincially. You might have to have a camera on you both ways. You might have to have certain training elements that you do, certain retrainings that you hit throughout maybe a 2-year period. I would think 2 years would be enough. Once you get past 2 years, I think you would go to maybe, let's just say yellow seal, because I have no other color options here. But that means that you are, you might have more selection of carriers depending on how their insurance is rolled out. You can now go in cross-border. Maybe you get the choice of whether you want cameras or not. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Maybe you get higher pay, hopefully better equipment, more opportunities as far as which carriers will hire you, because they're looking for people who can go cross-border, let's say. And then, of course, if you're Red Seal, you are at the top. You can operate certain types of equipment. You would be the ones who would be the next step to move on. And so it's just going to help the whole industry. Now, what scares someone like myself is that you could lose some people because of all of the steps. You might lose someone like myself who's not really crazy about all this. I'm crazy about him now, but back then, I'm trying to think of my beginning of my career. You know, if someone said, oh, you got to go and do that for 3 years, you might scare somebody off. So you got to kind of do this where people are advancing, but still kind of hitting their career goals of what they want to do and making it attractive through monetary and home time and those kind of things. And then, you know, it'll go up from there. So that's just my opinion. But then carriers have to be willing to say, we're not going to hire you because you're not at a certain level. And I'm not sure, because we've always been trying to fill the seats, at least for the last 40 years that I've been involved in the business, that not everybody, I think, is going to work that way. I'm hoping it works that way. I don't know if it's going to work that way. Anyway, we're going to find out exactly what the carriers think, because they're the ones who are actually involved with all of this. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to them. Why is it going to come down to them? Because they're the ones hiring you. Right? Insurance might be insuring them, which might allow them to insure you. You know, training, you'll get your training, you'll go to a good training school, you'll get your license. But after that, the training school's on to the next new person. They're not kind of tracking your career for the next 6 years. So it's really up to the carriers or some other model similar to that to make sure you go through. And I do believe it's going to have to be mandatory for it to be really successful. And that's a whole other animal that I don't think we can work on for sure. You know what? But let's find out what the carriers had to say. I'm going to play a little snippet from the PTTAC event for you. Before we do that, though, I do want you to know about Chrome Supply Warehouse. I know it's got nothing to do with training, but it does have a lot to do with coolness. If you love your truck, if you're, you know, show season is coming. It's the time now to get things ready, to get that thing going, you know, shined up. I know a lot of people are in polish mode right now. You know, look it over. What parts do you need? Is it up to show snuff? Because there's some big shows, and I want to come and get a picture of your truck, because I will be at a lot of these shows. So I want to make sure you know all about it. All right? So check it out. Check out your truck, and then here's where you go to get your parts. Chrome Supply Warehouse. They're in Belleville, Ontario, at exit 538, north side of the 401. If you guys know Belleville, the truck stop's on the other side. They've got the big blue glass building there, same color as my shirt. And you know what? You can go there. They got 8,000 square feet of the best parts, and if they don't have it, they can actually make it, because they make custom parts. So whether you need a new bumper, a new steering wheel, a cool seat, or you just need a rag to make it look cool when you get to the show, they got it all for you. And you can even get a t-shirt for yourself. Why not? You're going there anyway. All right? So go and check that out. ChromeSupplyWarehouse.com. If you're not going through Belleville, Ontario, you can order online at ChromeSupplyWarehouse.com. All right? Let's get on to it, and I'll tell you all about it. Here's the carrier panel for you.
By far my favorite station.
You're the best. Oh, yeah.
I love you guys.
How you doing? Good to see you, kid. Self-introduction?
Just Lisa Arsenault. I am the general manager of Lion Force Transport. I'm going to admit I had a terrible case of FOMO sitting out there while you were at the insurance panel up here. I was an insurance broker for 35 years, and just missing it a little bit. Anyway, we run over 100 trucks and just having a riot doing it. Welcome. I'm happy to be welcomed here.
Justin Botter, National Fleet Manager, Giant Tiger. I started in this business as a tattooed truck driver, one of the last of the trade, and very passionate about this. I handle Giant Tiger's safety program, procurement, and the general overall telematics program, and I'm passionate about this industry. I've got my lighter in my pocket to start boiling the ocean with everybody in this room, and just can't wait. Can't wait to chat today, and can't wait to get back to the insurance guys. And I got a hot mic today. You're all in trouble.
Good morning. Mario from Manitoulin Transport, corporate risk manager, fleet safety. I've been in the business about 31 years. Initially, when I started in '95, I graduated college, really needed a job, was getting married. And I figured maybe a year or two, and here I am 31 years later. So I'm really looking forward to being on this panel and answering any questions. Thank you.
And the guy that worked for Dan Eichmacher for 25 years is a survivor.
I wasn't going to mention that, but...
Hi.
Mitchell Peterson with CNTL. Been in the transportation industry for about 15 years now. We have about, I think Kim said 750 owner-operators in Canada, about 100 in the U.S. And we thought this was a really great organization to get behind because we're seeing same things everyone else is out there on the roads. So we're hoping to help push it forward as well.
Awesome, thanks. Lisa, I'll start with you, okay? And by the way, I'll start, Lisa, and just pipe up every question. I'm not going to pick you out, okay? So, Lisa, quick question. What impact would Red Seal have on your fleet?
On my fleet?
I know. I'm not asking what's on here. I'm tricking y'all.
Sorry. Safer roads, safer drivers, and credibility, quite frankly. I think that better begets better, and I think that Red Seal is just going to make everyone better. That's the goal. I mean, we want to not raise the floor, we want to raise the bar. And in 5 years, I'd like to see our advertisement for drivers where it says Red Seal drivers need only apply.
Do you think it would make your fleet more competitive?
Well, of course, of course. Having said that, we're there in competition already, and we're there, fighting for lanes and whatnot. But the past safety issues, or awards, if you want to put it that way, have really garnered us the attention that is actually allowing us to win. So bring in more safety, we'll win more.
Justin? And this is interesting to me because you're a private fleet, so it's a little different perspective, so I'm very interested in that.
So, I mean, one of the fortunate things of being insulated in private fleet is that, and from my passion in this business, we get to do the things ahead of what's happening. And that means being leaders, that means taking the initiative, that means doing what's right, and also that means doing what we say we're going to do. And I think in the future, to what Lisa said, Red Seal drivers only need apply. And then on the other end, as an operator, what are we going to do to invest in this future generation coming into the business? At one time, I was the future generation of truck driver and, still pretty greenhorned as a leader. But how are we going to build the individuals to come into the business, and let's train them to do it the right way? And that's the most important thing to me, and that's very important to our fleet. And that's the culture. And change teams, or wherever I am in this business, that is my motto personally. And wherever we go in fleets, we're going to lead that way, and that's what needs to happen.
Mario?
The Red Seal, the impact of the Canadian truck industry, I think it all starts on how it's kicked off, right? And how it's introduced, how it's educated, and it really needs to be a partnership with transport, with shippers, with government, with insurance to make that happen. It'll be a positive thing for safety, but as well as operationally, you'll see drivers being better educated on fuel economy, trip planning, and all that. So there's a lot of positive. Primarily, it is the safety side of things as well. So there's a lot of benefits there. But there's going to be some challenges with the national, with provinces getting on board, agreeing to that. And then with the voluntary versus mandatory, there's going to be some challenges.
Go ahead, Justin, please. Sir, go ahead.
I think CNTL in itself is a bit of a unicorn amongst the panelists here. You know, we are a pure owner-operator model, but our owner-operators in Canada are also unionized. So there is an enhanced level of communication and cooperation to have there. But I think overall, it's something that overall benefits the industry. It's not just, you know, individual carriers. And we have, I believe, a safety culture that people want to be better. They don't just show up, and being an owner-operator model, there is already a level of investment there. We all know trucks are not cheap nowadays. So you're already investing in purchasing a, you know, multi-$100,000 asset if you're buying new. So you already have a commitment to safety, and this is just good to enhance that. I think you know, the news sometimes puts us in a certain light, but everyone in this room, we all expect to be up at that level and not just at that level.
I want to point. They remind me of me and a lot of my buddies 40 years ago. We started in trucking. So I do agree with this painting everyone with the same brush. Want to comment some on that?
Yeah, just to emphasize the painting with the same brush, like the driver Inc. model, maybe the place to start, to begin drilling down and find where the inconsistencies are. But then, you know, once you start doing that, you realize that, yeah, there are safe fleets that are maybe using the driver Inc. model, and they can be, you know, in a sense exonerated, maybe not in a public forum or something, but, you know, then we get to the proper meat and potatoes and start actioning the people who are really the fly-by-night chameleon carriers and giving the...
They'll always be. That's the whack-a-mole game. You shut them down, they're back. They can't even worry about that.
100%.
You know, the rally of those carriers now is, to your point, of the insurance rates going up. You know, you're talking people getting in the business don't know the business. They're undercapitalized. I said they're undercapitalized. They factor. They have operating leases. Like, it's... How come the United States can move so much faster than us? Like, if you look at... I see that Humboldt, and you know, we all go back to Humboldt, and you know, not a lot has changed since Humboldt. You look at the United States, and I think their pivotal Humboldt moment was when the driver did the U-turn in California. The car went under. You never heard about commercial drivers in the States. You never heard about sham schools. In 6 months, the capacity, like I see it in our supply and demand and our pricing to move freight. How can we have, I think, a more serious problem here? How come they're moving so much faster than we can? Why can't we move that fast? And I guess I can see a good answer coming out from, what's your name again, pal?
My name is Tim. So
Terrible
here's
Tim.
what it comes down to. It's where I started. Money. It's money. If you look at even they're probably able to action enforcement.
Money or votes?
That we can't vote there, but it's money and votes. And if you look at you know, even these tariff surcharges, which just hit the trucks that I purchased, like they got money rolling so that they can action their enforcement. And you know, you got to think they're a superpower of a country, and we are much smaller. We've all this beautiful land, you know, and we're not densely populated. But I just want to throw this in here. So let's think about this. Red Seal now forces the industry to decide whether or not we are a skilled profession or not. And anything less than that, then what are we? And are we having an identity crisis in trucking?
Oh, there you go. So that's what a few of the carrier folks think about Red Seal. There will be more discussions, and the best way for you to get into the discussion is to go to PTAC's annual conference happening in Saskatoon in October. So go to ptac.ca and you can check it all out right there. And also, keep an eye on PTAC, sign up. Hey, if you want to be part of it, even better. But keep an eye on their website for events, because they have events in Ontario here all the time. They will be having events, I think, on the East Coast, probably the West Coast. So get involved so that when it's in your area, you can make sure you can attend. All All right, the conference was awesome last year. I can tell you I was there. All right, hey, before we go though, let me tell you a little about Harnwall. You know that truck stop that used to be in Woodstock that closed down years ago? Well, someone else bought it, and that's Harnwall Energies. It's going to be an SO fuel card stop, and if you have not got your fuel card, go to harnwallenergies.com. But it's exit 230, 401, Woodstock, Ontario, and it's going to be opening up sometime 2026. They're putting the finishing touches on it right now, and the finishing touches are going to be pretty cool because they're going to have a full range of amenities, including diesel and propane fueling, quick service dining, showers, large parking area for heavy trucks, RV refill station, 2 convenience stores, and they've got a cat scale there, and also they're going to have mechanical repairs. As you know, there's a truck wash right next to it as well. So everything in one spot. It's perfect spot because it's halfway between Toronto and Windsor, and that's exactly where you want to go. All right, so check out the new truck stop. HarnwallEnergies.com is where you can go get all the information, and we're hoping to be there when they open that up. All right, my friends, we'll talk to you later. Hey, subscribe. Hope you enjoy it. Become part of the conversation. Let us know what you think about Red Seal. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and thank you very much for subscribing. Subscribe, and make sure, have you heard of our new Chords and Chrome show? If you like Lead Pedal Radio and music and all that, you're going to love that show. All right, my friends, we'll talk to you later. Be good out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. That should keep it safe. And I am for Red Seal. Put that on the record right now, shall we?
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.